40-something-year-old Kenya Moore of the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 8 sat down and took part in an interview that exposed black women's deeply rooted mental malfunction in very few words. Now, you can read the epic stupidity for yourself in my blog, or, well, a lot of you like Fantasia, your asses can't read, so I'm going to read it to you, and then I'll give my opinion. Now, the following interview excerpts come from hellobeautiful.com. There's a link on my blog for you to read the whole article for yourself if you give a shit, but I know this is going to piss a lot of people off with what I'm going to say, but oh well. Let me start with what she said first. So the magazine website or whatever asked her, quote, "What's the best thing about dating outside your race?" Kenya replied by saying, "For black women, we just have to be open because there's not a lot of eligible bachelors that are black for us to choose from anymore. If you take away the ones that are gay in jail, this is a real issue. Statistics show why we don't have the choices. You take the ones that are gay in jail, don't have a job, the ones that are already married, and the ones that are dating and marrying outside our race. What do you have left? You don't have much to choose from. The nicest thing is that you have options." Then the magazine went on to say, "What are some advantages of being single over 30 or 40? She replied by saying, quote, "I think you know who you are at 40. Women over 40 are the baddest women on the planet. Really, we are. You own who you are. You have so much confidence. You're in a place where you have a career, you have a place, you have money. At this point, you should be successful. You've learned patience. You know what works for you. I think it's the best time in a man or woman's life to get married. The divorce rate is much lower because you know who you are and what you bring to the table." Oh, geez. And then finally, the final question was, do you think that using unconventional ways of meeting someone like online, millionaire matchmaker, etc. work better than traditional dating? Kenya replied by saying, quote, "I remember very early in my 20s, I had a roommate that met someone online, and I remember how taboo it was. Quote, 'You did what? You met someone where? You're going to go on a date with somebody you met online,' end quote. It was just so shocking that we felt that this person was putting herself in danger and met a serial killer, and now it's just completely the opposite. It's more efficient. You can quickly discern what you like and what you don't. You just have far more options, and I think internet dating, matchmaking services, the less conventional ways back in the day are just a thing of the past. Now it's far more effective to open and broaden your horizons as to what options you have out there for dating. I 100% think that online dating, matchmaking services, in addition to your friends and conditional ways of meeting people, is absolutely acceptable now," end quote. Womp, 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 womp. Bitch, please. Jesus fucking Christ. Where do I begin? I guess we should start with the very first question and answer. She said a lot. She threw a lot of bullshit in there. But I'll try my best to keep my critique short and concise. For the record, I'm not going to reread the whole thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you the part that really stood out to me, and then I'll give my opinion on it. So Kenya said, "You take the ones that are gay in jail, don't have a job, the ones that are already married, and the ones that are dating and marrying outside our race. What do you have left? You don't have much to choose from. The nicest thing is that you have options," end quote. First of all, she just threw a bunch of shit in there, but I'm gonna try to break this down. Now, if a man is gay, of course that takes him out of the dating and marrying equation. Thankfully, an estimated 1 to 2% of the population is gay according to statistics. So this still leaves millions of men out there. Then she mentions men who are in jail. Currently, less than 1% of the adult population of the United States of America is in jail or prison. Now, as for interracial relationships, a black man is probably 9 to 10 times more likely to marry within his race than out. See where I'm going with this? The unemployment rate for so-called black people was about 11% in 2014. So as far as the man not having a job thing. And for what I read, about 32% of black men are married. An even higher percentage of Hispanic, Asian, and so-called white men are married. And I haven't heard much complaining coming from Caucasian, Asian, and Hispanic women when it comes to not being able to get married because they don't have options. Now, percentage-wise, their statistics, according to Kenya's criteria, are worse than black women's. Oh, and did I mention, The divorce rate is alleged to be about 50%. If that's the case, half of the married men will be single at some point, which temporarily increases the number of available dicks. I mean men even more. In a nutshell, most so-called black men are not married, or that very lengthy list of things she mentioned. And for the record, I'm so beyond through with seeing this freaking ridiculous list. It's been ran through the ground. The same lame talking points. These women who keep saying this crap sound like robots. I've heard it on talk shows, seen it in news articles, seen it everywhere. Even just random conversations with people. You know, the same old bullshit, nonsensical rhetoric that inadequate black women love to quote when they have major character flaws, but we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, Kenya goes on to say, quote, "You're in a place where you have a career, you have a place, you have money. At this point, you should be successful. You learn patience. You know what works for you. I think it's the best time in a man or woman's life to get married. The divorce rate is much lower because you know who you are and what you bring to the table." Oh, where do I even begin? Career? You have your own place? You have money? Is a man supposed to be looking for a male best friend or a female life partner? You should be successful. How do we measure success? Come to think of it, Aunt Viv from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, real name Janet Hubert, accused Kenya Moore of falsifying timesheets and cutting her out of her own money when she worked with Kenya on her TV project titled Life Twirls On. Is that what successful people do? They fuck acting veterans out of their money and get exposed for it on the internet? Also, where in the world did she find this statistic for the divorce rate lowering significantly for older people? From what I read, there's not that much of a difference. Anyway, she went on to say, quote, "I think internet dating matchmaking services, the less conventional ways back in the day, are just a thing of the past. Now it's far more effective to open and broaden your horizons as to what options you have out there for dating. I 100% think that online dating matchmaker services, in addition to your friends and conventional ways of meeting people, is absolutely acceptable now." End quote. Matchmaking services such as Millionaire Matchmaker? Remember when Kenya went on that TV show? This hypocrite dated a married man and then pretended to be engaged to the same guy. She went posting some photos of a fake engagement ring on Instagram and everything. If you don't know what I'm talking about, visit the link below on my blog. There's links there to my stories that I wrote about it previously, my stories and videos rather. Anyway, this heifer with Easter eggs for ovaries is just pathetic for trying to play somebody talking about some damn matchmaking services after you did what you did. Stop lying, stop fronting. You know damn well that you manipulated the matchmaking service to try to get more fame and attention. Stop playing. The truth is, Kenya refuses to grow up. She's a 40-something-year-old going on 4, an adult woman who picks fights with other professional women, plots, schemes, and attempts to destroy others for her own sick enjoyment. And did I mention that the bitch likes to spin around in circles while talking about how fabulous she is? To make things even more disturbing, Kenya was accused of stealing Vivica Fox's cell phone and a megaphone from the Celebrity Apprentice set. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the links to my stories about that are on my blog as well. And let's not forget, on the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 6, Kenya bullied and mentally tortured Portia Almighty Williams for months. And some man somewhere is supposed to put up with this 40-year-old toddler? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Anyway, she went on a show named Millionaire Matchmaker after that. This was what, earlier this year? Maybe it was last year when they filmed it. Anyway, she went on to this Millionaire Matchmaker show on TV, dated a man who was already in a relationship with another woman, but so everything she just said was just so full of shit. Kenya is classic full of shit. Okay? Anyways, that's not the only disturbing thing about the story. The show is about women being set up on dates with men who are millionaires. As the title suggests, Millionaire Matchmaker. Now, any woman who participates in that show is a gold digger off the rip. In reality, no decent woman seeks to date, mate with, or marry a millionaire. And the ones that do are prostitutes. As a matter of fact, speaking of these prostitutes, ironically, a few months ago, I wrote a blog article and I made a YouTube video speaking about how on an episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 7, just this past season, Cynthia Bailey and Kenya Moore helped their fellow co-star Claudia Jordan primp herself before attending an event because according to them, there would be men with money there, or as they worded it, there would be ballers there. Basically men who have money like a basketball player in the NBA. That's black women slang for I'm a fucking gold digger. Anyway, there's a link on my blog that'll lead you there to that blog and that video, rather that article and that video. Anyway, all of that chasing money, not giving a damn about compatibility or true love, and being a gold digging whore is why black women are the least married of all races and both genders. It's an inconvenient truth. You know, a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but most black women are gold diggers, at least to some degree. Kenya wants to throw handfuls of statistics around, hoping at least something sticks. However, what Kenya left out of the equation is she wants a potential mate to at least be a millionaire, if not a billionaire or beyond. And slightly more than 1% is just over 1% of the world's population are millionaires. In other words, her being single is her fault. The truth is, black women like Kenya Moore are a toxic blend of entitled meets delusional. They think that they, quote, deserve a man with loads of money. They're not humble. They're selfish. They're manipulative. In fact, her interview was manipulative. She pretended the reason why she's single is simply because there are not enough eligible bachelors. However, her eligibility requirements mention nothing about compatibility, family values, culture, love, etc. Go back and re-listen or reread them for yourself. She said nothing about anything that matters. Now, for the record, Kenya's issues are common among so many black women. If they're not chasing money, they're chasing a quote-unquote bad boy. And a lot of people believe so many black women who desire a man like this are chasing him because she believes that she can change him, into a nice guy, which is a complete fabrication. They don't like nice men at all. Now, being nice to a black chick can get you hurt and in some cases killed. Sounds like bullshit unless you grow up in a certain type of environment. Now, I've personally witnessed black chicks trying to get guys to fight for their own sick pleasure. Now, the truth is, the reason that they chase after these so-called bad boys is because they are bad people themselves. It's the law of attraction, or like attracting like. They are the same selfish, self-serving, self-rewarding, self-involved energy. The truth is, they don't deserve a good man because they're not a good woman. To complicate the situation further, as Kenya Moore pointed out, black women are chasing the same small group of men. When she ran off that old BS list of alleged statistics and whatnot as the lame reason for why she's single, all I heard was blah, 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 blah. I'm a crazy gold-digging black bitch who wants what the next crazy gold-digging black bitch wants, blah, blah. So they're fighting over scraps. They want to narrow their horizons, and then they end up fighting over basically a taken man. Now, this desire to be with the taken man is exactly why we hear the same 6 stories about some random black asshole who has maybe 4, 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 or more women that he's impregnated. He's married to none of them. He may not be taking care of his kids. However, if he has money, looks, a reputation, or just talks to bitches the way that they want to be talked to. The mind closes, the legs open, We see it all the time. Same guys. They're all chasing the same fucking guys. Then when a decent guy comes about, he's forced to go date, mate with, and marry women of other ethnic groups because black bitches are just about all connected to the same retarded brain. They all want the same fucking thing. Now, what makes matters worse is a lot of black women are lesbians and don't even know it. These narcissisters, as I call them, narcissistic sisters, are so in love with themselves that they've turned gay. There is no way in hell that they will ever be able to truly love a man or be involved with one because they're so in love with themselves, there is no room in their hearts for the man. In other words, black bitches are spiritually transsexuals and hermaphrodites. Look like a woman on the outside, but they got a dick. That's why black bitches will tell you in a second, suck my dick. But hey, this is all my opinion. Let me know what you think about it all below. Be sure to subscribe to the Meat Magazine YouTube channels. Visit meatmagazine.com. Blogspot.